Welcome to the Music Nut Program. I'm John. Thank you so much for joining me today. And welcome to my show on my 10 favorite albums from 2015. This is part six of a six-part monthly series where I talk about my favorite albums celebrating a significant anniversary in 2025. In January, I did 1965, February 1975, etc. Today, June 7, 2025, talk about my 10 favorite albums from 2015. What will be apparent when I talk about these albums is how I'm getting more into singer-songwriters, more into blues artists, including the one that's over my shoulder right now. Let's get started. My number 10 is the biggest selling album on this list. It went platinum. The rest of these albums did not certify to the best of my knowledge here in the States. This was an album that also won a few Grammys in 2016, although I got into the album early on and I did get to see them as they closed out Mountain Jam in 2015. This is the Alabama Shakes with their album Sound and Color. This is their second album and to date their latest album because after this album they broke up. They worked on some solo projects. They're back together now in the studio, hopefully putting out an album by the end of the year. It would be wonderful. Songs here are very strong. How I was introduced to this band was I saw them on Saturday Night Live play Don't Want to Fight, and that song is so addictive that I went out and bought the album, and later I saw them. Strong album here. There's a lot of atmosphere, some soft and loud. Some of these songs are very elegant. Some of them really hit home like garage rock, no doubt about it. The title song is a very good opener, but it's very atmospheric. Don't Want to Fight is that funky track that really hooked me in. What a chorus on here. Wonderful performance. It's just an addictive song that really works well. Dooms is more dramatic and it's soft verses, loud choruses. You also have this on other tracks like Give Me All Your Love, which is more like a ballad, but it does get loud on the choruses. Future People, Guess Who are very good. The Greatest is straight up good garage rock, works very well. Miss You is a wonderful ballad. Over My Head's very cool. Gemini, a song that you hear sometimes on Sirius XM. That's a lot more atmospheric as well, just like the title track is. Very well recorded, but it's a more contemporary recording like you would have in the 2010s. Very strong R&B feel on here. Wonderful songs. Alabama Shakes, Sound and Color is my number 10. My number 9 is a band that I discovered when I saw them open for the Go-Go's on what was to be their farewell tour in 2016. I know they've done a few dates since then. That might have been their last tour. This is Best Coast with their album California Nights. Best Coast did a great job that night, and I thought they were better than the Go-Go's. And when a band really impresses me live that I don't know, I'll go buy the album at the show. That's what happened here. Bethany Cosentino is the main songwriter in this band, and she is a great songwriter. She sings a lot about relationships, putting these songs to a power pop bent. This does feel like power pop for 2015. Feeling Okay is a wonderful opener. Fine Without You is excellent. Great bridge on this. Heaven Sent is wonderful. It is just an addictive track with that guitar line and that excellent delivery. Sparse on the lyrics, but it just brings you in. It is a catchy ass song. In My Eyes is very, very cool. When Will I Change? Another strong one. Jealousy's great. Title track is more dream pop. Very well done. Fading Fast, Sleep Won't Ever Come. All the songs on here are very good. My number 9 is Best Coast with California Nights. And my number 8 is one I was introduced to this year. when I did my Album War show on the album Up. So thank you again, Jake, not from State Farm. This is Pop Evil and their album Up. Pop Evil's considered nu metal, but there are more levels to this band. Yes, they do have songs that rely on great riffs like the opening track Footsteps and Core, but they can also go straight up heavy on In Disarray and Lux, Dead in the Water, catchy as sin. Love it. My favorite song of the album. This song was an earworm for me when I picked this album up. We also have stuff that's more melodic, like Seattle Rain, Ways to Get High, Take It All, have great choruses on. If Only for Now is more reflective. Kind of like the power ballad on the album, but I mean, it's very, very catchy. Vendetta Vendetta is very good. Everything on here I like a lot. And I love Dead in the Water and If Only for Now, Ways to Get High, Tell It All. Oh, my number 8 is Pop Evil, Up. Number 7, here we go with the singer-songwriters. This is when I got into this artist on this album, even though he had been recording with the Drive-By Truckers for several years and went solo a few years before this. This is Jason Isbell and his album Something More Than Free. This was the second album after Jason had gone sober. And a lot of the songs on here are very reflective, talking about things I did in the past, and now I'm moving on from this. It's very folk. As time went on, he would get a little heavier. The guitars would get a little bit louder on albums like the Nashville Sound. Amanda Shires, who would later be his wife, very significant on this album with her fiddle playing, bringing a lot of class to the proceedings. If It Takes a Lifetime is a wonderful opener, very addictive. 24 Frames is very catchy. Amanda's fiddle playing on here shines. Great hook in that fiddle line on here. This is probably the most famous song from the album. He always does this live. How to Forget is a wonderful song, very reflective again, wonderful chorus on it. Children of Children, Jason knocks it out of the park with his vocal on that, and the strings on here are very elegant. The Life You Chose, similar to How to Forget, talking about past mistakes, how we're going to move on. Title song is very good. Speed Trap Town is very strong as well. Palmetto Rose, we get a little more gritty on this song, pointing to what's going to come in the future. To a band that I love is a wonderful closer. My number 7 is Jason Isbell, Something More Than Free. Number 6 is a songwriter I was always into, but I really started getting into his work in 2015, and he will have a new album on June 20, 2025. I'm talking about James McMurtry, and this is his album from 2015, Complicated Game. This is an album of character studies. In the past, he would talk about some more autobiographical stuff and get a little political, not too political, but you could read between the lines about what he was talking about. This is all character studies. We're singing about a lot of different characters, whether we're talking about the cattle ranchman from on Forgotten Coast, or we're talking about the blue collar worker on Long Island Sound. But we have some great, great songs on here. These Things I've Come to Know is wonderful. You Got to Me is excellent. Copper Canteen is a wonderful opener. Most of these songs stay in a folk vein. We do have a little bit of banjo on here, but it doesn't make it like more country or bluegrass or anything like that. It stays in that folk vein. Ain't Got a Place, She Loves Me are very catchy. How Am I Gonna Find You Now is the single. And you can hear why. It is very, very catchy. Plenty of James's great wordplay and biting wit. Very, very catchy song. Carlisle's Hall, Deaver's Crossing are very good. Cutter is a cool closer. Everything on here is very good, but I really love How Am I Gonna Find You Now? These Things I've Come to Know, Forgotten Coast, South Dakota, You Got to Me. This is my number 6, James McMurtry, Complicated Game. Okay, number 5. This band, I did not know. I discovered them when they opened up for the Revivalists in 2017 at Penn's Peak. They've only made one album since then. That was in 2018. If you go on the website for this band, it tells you they'll be putting out a new album in 2018. But this is their album from 2015. They kicked my ass live, bought the album at the show. This is Atlas Road Crew with Halfway to Hopkins. What do they sound like? Southern rock meets arena rock. It's got a southern bent, but there's hooks. Great songs. Voices is an awesome opener. Black Eye Sunrise, we're slowing it down. It comes very anthemic. Low Country Blues, this is more down and dirty. Wicked slide guitar playing on here. Wasted Time is a little more reflective. It's got an excellent chorus on it. I Want You to Know is one of my favorite songs of 2015. I hear this and I'm like, boy, at another time, this would have been a hit single. This is a wonderful anthem. And it sounds like an arena rock anthem. The chorus on here is to die for. Hooks galore on it. Lose Control is heavier. The title song is more riveting. Very, very strong. Abilene is more reflective. It's very, very cool. As is Weeping Will. Betty's a cool closer. Some of the songs on this album were produced by Rick Beato, who you may know for his wonderful channel here on YouTube. He always has strong takes and he's very knowledgeable about the music business. He did a great job, as did the other producers on this album and the band themselves. I'm talking about Atlas Road Crew. Halfway to Hopkins is my number 5. My number 4, this is a guitar player that my friend Everett Saunders, who I called E, introduced me to. Rest in peace, E. Everett knew his blues, and he told me, this guy's the real deal. You got to go see him, which I did. I've seen him a few times since. This is Albert Cummings, Someone Like You. Wicked guitar player, great singer, great songwriter too. I'll get into that a little bit shortly. More into that. No Doubt is wicked. This is a cool blues rocker opens up. He does have a bit of a Stevie Ray Vaughan sound to his playing, but he's huskier vocalist. I mean, not deep, but he doesn't sing like Stevie Ray. He plays a lot like Stevie Ray. I Found You. This is an excellent song, but this is more into blues rock. This is more blues rock than blues at times. Up Your Sleeve is more blues, and as is Moving On. So strong, wonderful ballad on here. And Albert's vocal on here is excellent. Finally in Love, more mid-pace, very accessible blues rock song. The songs on here are really catchy. And you think blues rock, but these got some good hooks and melodies on here that even if you're not into that sound, you can get into these songs. Meat Locker is a wonderful instrumental that kicks ass. Stay Away From My Sister is a kick-ass closer and very wickedly played. Made Up Your Mind, or Make Up Your Mind is in that vein as well. Old Dog's very cool. My number 4 is Albert Cummings, Someone Like You. My number 3, speaking of blues and guys who can write great songs, the only one I have on vinyl, and I bought this from the artist himself. This is Tinsley Ellis with Tough Love. Tinsley Ellis is another guy, another guitar player that Everett introduced me to, and he was spot on about this man. Another artist I've seen a few times. And the first time is where I bought this album. Excellent songwriter, great soulful singer as well. He's still very active. I have talked about him at great length here on my channel. 7 Years is a wonderful opener. Midnight Ride is more blues rock, more of a shuffle. Hard Work is very, very cool. All in the Name of Love. We got a cool horn section on here. This really puts a spotlight on Tinsley's vocals. This is very, very good. Leave Me is more of a slower blues. Should I Have Lied? That plays like early 90s Allman Brothers band to me, which is a great thing. Excellent. The King Must Die is very, very cool. Very, very catchy. That chorus is awesome. That guitar solo from Tinsley during the fade out is to die for. Speaking of to die for, the last track, In From the Cold. In From the Cold is so dramatic. Tinsley's vocal on here is spectacular. More of a ballad, more of an R&B feel to it. Very, very memorable. Wonderful way to end this album. My number 3 is Tinsley Ellis, Tough Love. Number 2 is a band that I got to see twice in 2015. And the three guys in this band are very busy with other projects, but when they get together, they shine like the sun. My number 2 is Winery Dogs, Hot Streak. This is Billy Sheehan on bass, who's played with everybody. We got Richie Kotzen on vocals and lead guitar. He also has a solo career. He also records with Adrian Smith, who's also in Iron Maiden. And we got Mike Portnoy, who's usually in 5-6 bands at a time. And he's most notably known for being in Dream Theater. He wasn't in them at that band at the time. Now he's back with them. This is classic hard rock for today. The songs, the performances, excellent. Spot on a dime musicianship. I mean, they are fantastic musicians. They just don't stay in their lane. They try different things on here. And Richie Kotzen, what a soulful vocalist he is. Oblivion is the heaviest sin driving opener. It's very cool. Captain Love would have been a hit years and years ago when this sound was more in vogue. Awesome. Title song, kick ass. Like this hard R&B meets hard rock. How Long is very cool, as is Empire. Empire's got this great call and response on it. Fire is more of an R&B ballad, and we have a track like that later on the album called Think It Over. It works very well. Then we got Ghost Town, which is heavier, and War Machine Spiral is my favorite song on the album. And this has this circular guitar solo, wonderful vocal, which really rises and gets really dramatic before they go into the chorus. Very addictive song. This is a song I've played a lot on Touch Tunes jukeboxes over the years. The Lamb is an excellent closer. Little on the long side. It's 65 minutes. But all the songs on here are very, very good. All 3 albums are very good. But they've only made their 3rd album is in 2023. So they've been very busy doing a lot of their stuff. But the Winery Dogs destroy. And they destroy live too. This is my number 2 for 2015, Hot Streak. My number 1 is Behind Me. And I've talked about this singer, songwriter, bassist at great length on this channel. This is Danielle Nicole with her first LP on her own, Wolf Den. This is blues. You could say blues rock, but it's more blues meets R&B because Danielle Nicole has a voice that can stop time. Yes, that's what I said. Her voice is amazing. Excellent songs on here, more in the mid-tempo vein, but sometimes they can really pick up the pace. And opening track, Wolf Den, title track is very good. How You Gonna Do Me Like That, one of several songs that has more of a 70s R&B feel on it. Take It All is a beautiful ballad. Danielle shines on this one. You Only Need Me When You're Down. It's a lot more gritty. Very, very cool. Just Give Me Tonight. Another great ballad. Works so well easing into the night. We're slowing down the pace a little bit, more seductive. Didn't Do You No Good is more dramatic. I feel like Breaking Up Somebody's Home. That's a cover that's been done many times, and Danielle and her band do a great job on that. It Ain't You's very catchy. In My Dreams, they slow it down. It's more pop. It's really, really cool. And Fade Away is very good. Anders Osborne produced this album. And I'll tell you what, I've seen Danielle Nicole and her band many times live, and they always bring it. Brandon Miller is a wicked guitar player, and he's been with her since the beginning. My number one is Danielle Nicole's Wolf Den. I would be remiss if I did not mention a live album from that year. These recordings were from several years before. They did 8 dates in 2015. Did Government Mule with John Schofield. I got to see one of those 8 dates. One of the best shows I've ever seen. This is Skull Mule. We're getting some hard R&B songs that James Brown did. I mean, we do get Birth of the Mule and Skull Mule, which are Government Mule songs, but Kind of Bird. We got a great version of the Allman Brothers instrumental Dickie Betts wrote for the Shades of Two Worlds album. Devil Likes It Slow. That's a Warren Haynes song. That's very, very cool. The playing on here is spectacular. Most of the songs are over 10 minutes long, but this album just takes you in. We got Hot and Tot, which is an old R&B track. It works very good. We actually got, there's 2 discs here. We got the proper album, and then when you bring in the bonus disc, this takes it too close to 2.5 hours. Afro Blue is the John Coltrane song, and they take this to a whole different place. So, Skull Mule, definitely had to talk about that. Honorable mentions. Armored Saint, win hands down. Excellent album. As is the Steepwater Band, Shake Your Faith. Very good. This was an artist and singer-songwriter who's got 37 albums, and I got to dig more into his catalog. I saw him, he played and with Bill Payne on the bill as well, Bill Payne from Little Feat. And I bought the album right after I saw him. Jim Lauderdale, Soul Searching. This is an album where the first disc is R&B, it's called Memphis, and the second disc is called Nashville. One sounds like R&B, one sounds like old school country. He writes all the songs on here. He's got a kick-ass band with him on here. The Dickinson brothers are on here. Well, Luther Dickinson plays a lot on this album, and he's the co-producer along with Jim. Very, very good album. And I got to dig deeper in his catalog. There's a lot to ingest and love in his catalog. So, what are your favorite albums from 2015? Are there other albums that I should have talked about? I thought of another one, Queensryche, Condition Human. Very good album from that year as well. Just close, just not enough to be in my top 10. But anyway, what are your favorite albums from 2015? What do you think of these selections? Please let me know in the comments, just to give you some programming notes. I did a show a couple of weeks ago on Bicycle Legs Talks Music, where Daniel Bosch and I talk about one and done albums. He has 5 albums, well, 6 albums, and I have 5 albums. and we talk about a lot of stuff that, but particularly Daniel, that a lot of people may not know about. So that was a great show. It's always fun working with Daniel. He was he was the reason I did this series, but because we're I took this series from his anniversary album series. The only difference is he does it every month, and I just want to do it for 6 months in 10-year intervals. So definitely check out Bicycle Legs Talks Music, and he has a fantastic channel. He's a great guy. I did a top 10 songs from 1991 on Grant's Rock Warehouse. We all had a great time. I put that show in here. I put it through StreamYard, so that was on here, and you can watch that here on the channel or on Grant's Rock Warehouse. I have a show coming up on the Contrarians pretty soon. It's going to be an album more show. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, but um, don't stop believing with the Jukebox Heroes. There's your hint. And I also will have a one and done show coming up on Grant's Rock Warehouse. I believe it's just Grant and I on that one. So that should be coming up in the next week or so. So thank you all so much for joining me today. Do what you love, and I'll talk to you soon.